Okay, quick show of hands, who's excited about AI? Interesting. Who's scared, apprehensive? About 50-50. Let me move on to the next slide, didn't I? Well, I'm really excited today, honestly, really excited about, one, to give this presentation to you today because, I spent a lot of time putting it together and I think it's really good. But also as well, I love technology and I think what you can do with technology now is brilliant. And I'm referring to the first slide, the starting gun has gone off and it really has gone off, especially I think in the last 2 to 3 months. The level of what you can do with AI now is ridiculous. It's what I wanted to do probably 10 years ago, what I was trying to do, like manual stuff, I can now do in a day. And what I'm going to do with you today is I've got two short videos for you. The first one is just to sort of set the scene of what I'm going to talk about today. It's an AI generated video of me chasing AI and then eventually catching them up. And then I'll finish on a video of with my nearly 10-year-old daughter talking over it. And I'll start that video. I'll start that video now and see what you think. So if I can start that.
The race of the future begins now.
Okay, a bit cheesy, but what I'm trying to do is set the scene for what I'm talking about is that if you're not using AI in your business now is the time. The next 24 months, I think, is going to accelerate, and hopefully what I'll take you through today will help sort of understand where to get started. If you're not already, and I've spoken to some of you already, and I was talking to a lady in the break, and what she's sort of built, she's used a tool, I can't remember if it was Lovable or Base 42, or there's another one, but Replit, sorry, there you are, Replit, and you're a perfect case for this sort of thing. So a bit of a timeline of what we're going to go through. But this slide here is on the left-hand side, you've got the last 70 years. So you're going from 1950, Alan Turing, you've probably all heard of him from the Enigma and then in 1950, he almost like started computer. He cracked the Enigma code during World War II. And he created the thing called the Turing test, where I think we've sailed past the Turing test now, as in like if you can tell if an AI is real or not. If you're talking to it, you're probably quite fooled nowadays. Up to 1986, you've got Geoffrey Hinton, who he's labelled as the godfather of AI. He developed this thing about neural networks, and it's a bit how AI works. But in the last 4 years, from 2022, ChatGPT came on the scene, November 2022. and it's sort of and it is accelerating. We've gone from ChatGPT, where some people have used it to write essays, do email marketing, up until you've got. I'll talk about this a little bit in a short while, but legal AI, Harvey AI, that a lot of legal people in the legal industry use. Multimodal AI, so that's where you can add an image, a screenshot, a voice, a text. You can add it all in the same chat. AI agents, so you can get an AI agent to go book a restaurant for you. You can do a lot more than that as well. Up until today, you've got 1 million. This data to back this up as well. 1 million legal AI users. But when I say about the next two years, there's things that are going on. It's just like wow, it's as I put at the bottom there, it's compounding. So a few figures here. 14% of small UK law firms using Gen AI. And that comes from the SRA 2025. And 95% of AI pilots fail to reach production. It's from MIT, and 63% lack data-ready management practices. So that 63%, and what Tom was talking about earlier, is the data side of things. Data, with using AI, is data, having it in a structured format, all in one place. And that's what I see a lot, is a lot of companies have the data in this software, even paperwork exercises, in this software, in paperwork form. Software here, software there, software over here, and it's not connected, and that's not going to get you anywhere. So the key thing really is to start get your data digitized if you haven't already. Get it into either do it yourself or work with a company that can help you put it into a structured form. And yes, it can, as I've put at the bottom here, AI can write your LinkedIn posts, and this is sort of the basis of my discussion today, is it can be really useful if you apply it to your operations. Yes, it can write your email marketing, but it can also, if you start to use, and again, I refer to you what you've done with, which is built our own CRM system, and I think that's what every business, not just a CRM system, build applying that software of what you can build now to your operations. So I've tried to make this a bit of a practical. So if you can all get your phones out and scan the QR code, there's 5 questions, and you can go to is3.co.uk legal growth poll if your camera's not working for whatever reason. But I'll give you a minute to answer those. See the screen. So we've had 10 so far. Thank you very much. $22 now, very good. I'll probably move forward from that. But 8% is winning with disconnected software. Oh, that's changed. Still disconnected software. 28 now. Okay, I'll leave it there and I'll go with disconnected software. There's actually, I've got it on my phone as well, but there's it's updated now, 30 responses. So I actually built this automation yesterday, 31. I'll refresh it that. And we've got 13 disconnected software. So if I tell my automation now to trigger that, right, 32 responses. Current winner is chasing documents. So I'm just going to generate that output, and hopefully I'll go back to the presentation now. We did have to swap laptops to make this work. Right, I'll come back to that. Right. Right, back to the presentation. Right, apologies for the delay. So, I want to talk about Surprise Shirts. So this is a real life example. So, Surprise Shirts is run by Rob and Louis, a father and son. They're in Horncastle. And they have embraced AI with open arms. And they've transformed the business. So I was actually with them yesterday for a shareholder meeting, because I ended up investing in the company as well after I've seen what they were doing, and I thought it was really good. And so what the concept is, people either sign up for a subscription or a one-off football shirt, and you get through the post, a box, and when you open up the box, it's a surprise of, could be a football shirt from anywhere around the world. And what they were doing before I went to them, they were using HubSpot, and they were just putting the order history from the orders as a free text field into HubSpot, and just put and when the next order came in, they were using Rob's knowledge. He's very, very passionate about football, and it's almost like the knowledge in his head. It's like never send a Leeds United fan a Turkey football shirt. Never send a Glasgow Rangers a green shirt. Like rules, fairly simple rules like that. But then it was also looking at the shirt history and then trying to figure out from what they've put on the Shopify website, because it's a free text field on the Shopify website. Working out what they've put. Do they mean avoid that colour, or do they want that colour? And so what we've taken the 4 different softwares that they're using, like the stock management software, the HubSpot. There was up to 5 different softwares that we're using. We put that all into one software, and now that order comes in from Shopify into this software, and we've got an AI looking at what that free text field is, and then saying, this is basically telling the software this is the order that the customer wants. It looks at the order history, and then it makes a prediction of, you should send to this customer the next 5 shirts that you've got based on what's in stock. And they were saying yesterday, it has transform their business to the point of they're 200% more efficient. And I couldn't quite believe the figure myself, but they have, it's not just using AI, it's because they've put all the data into one place, they've digitized, and then the AI is almost like an additional feature. So that works really well, and we're continuing to work on projects because the data is all in one place. We're able to keep improving constantly. So this is from your industry, the law industry. This is a bit of interesting data for you. So 30 law firms are using this. This is from A&O Sherman using Harvey AI. The basic 30% faster contract reviews. Lawhive, significantly cheaper conveyancing, and this figure that I got from the SRA, I found astounding. And I think there was a BBC documentary on this as well. They're charging £2. I can't remember what it was for some sort of document for debt recovery, whereas like traditional firms are charging over £1,000. So it's just a sort of a trend showing how the technology is being used. I've harped on a little bit about this, but digitize and standardize. So get rid of the paperwork exercises. And this, as we found with surprise shirts, it's not. Everyone talks about AI. AI. It's a bit of a buzzword, and it is a little bit of a wild west as well. Out there, it's like you could use this software, you could use that software. But at the end of the day, it's getting your data all into one place, digitize it, and then you can start to automate your processes. And then when you've automated, then look at using the AI. It's all about systemization. And this is sort of the journey I've tried to paint here is systemization. Go from the paper and the chaos, get it digitized, structured and integrated, then you can automate it. Then you can look at the AI side of things. So I come from a aerospace manufacturing background, and the key thing with all of that was processes. And from as extreme as, if the human made a mistake and we're doing a root cause and corrective action, it was never, when we're trying to figure out what the root cause, you could never blame a human. It was always, it could be, you could root that all the way back to what was your recruitment process like, and the recruitment process of how you actually employ someone. So it's how my mind thinks is, how do you get from position A to position B? So it's defining. So once you've digitized, and then you want to move to automation or with AI, it's actually first define what you're doing as a process right now, to then look at how you improve that. There's various processes you can use, and so Lean Six Sigma. Lean Six Sigma is, again, from manufacturing. It's a combination of two methodologies. Lean from Toyota, it's basically removing waste from your process. Six Sigma was from Motorola, and that was removing variability in your process. And the whole idea with DMAIC, define, measure, analyze, improve, control, is defining your process. So how do you onboard a new client? What's the waste in that process? How manual is it? Can you automate a lot of that? Can you remove a lot of the time, the waste, and from that process? And I've said about looking at processes to help you improve these things. In lean manufacturing, there's a thing called the 7 deadly sins, and I'm not going into lots of detail about it. But let's pick two of the deadly sins is movement and distance. So it could, and we more live in a digital world nowadays, but movement is how and time, distance, how long does it take you to move data from one place to another? And this all comes back to what I've talked about, having your data all in one place. If it's already all in the one place, it makes it a lot easier. And I talk about structured data. This is a massive thing that helps us a lot. I go back to surprise shirts, was because it's in that structured format. It's all there. So if we want to improve, remove the waste, remove the time. Well, one of the biggest wastes in their process is they would sit there and decide what shirt they should send next to the customer. So they would then decide that, then get up out of the chair and walk into the storeroom, and then go and find that shirt. Well, we reduced the time to decide what shirt to give. This is mainly an automation, but I think they still call it AI, but AI is involved in it, but the automation is deciding from the various different factors, send these next 5 shirts to them. So that was eliminating that waste. And then the next waste, which this is a very recent thing, was them walking into stores after each order. Because the data was already there, we could then have a computer in the storeroom, and they can just decide 20 shirts in one go. This is the shirt we should send this customer, and that goes to the person in stores to then be able to see what shirts they should pick. So I'm just trying to talk about removing waste. That distance, then walking is eliminated, hence being 200% more productive. And the last point on there, you can't govern AI decisions, you can't trace. So one of the concerns, I'll come back to that one, is governance. So, I mean, this is something, my wife runs her own business in social work, and it's something she was worried about from day one is, I can't really use a ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini because it's got sensitive data in, and you don't know where it's going. And it's so key when you've got personal identified information of putting that data into a place where you're not quite sure where it goes. I mean, Gemini, Copilot, Microsoft Copilot, they're pretty standard. And last time I checked, Gemini had, I'll talk about 42001. It's an international standard, and I won't spend too long on this because this is maybe a bit dry. But 42001 is a AI governance. It's how you make sure where the data goes, and making some of the key things are all about keeping the data traceable for me, that's one of the key things, is keeping it traceable. But you've also got another standard, 27001, which is information security, and this is becoming, well, it is really the gold standard of information security. How do you make sure you don't leak that data about your clients? And that, again, is before using AI, is to think about what information are you giving it, and how, and where that data is going. I've talked about SOC. Well, I've put it up here. SOC 2 Type 2. That's more of an American thing, but again, 27001 goes hand in hand with GDPR and things like end-to-end encryption. So it's about measuring your risk and making sure your data, key thing, data doesn't get leaked. So again, this is just a bit more data, but one thing I've not really mentioned before is AI projects. 60% of AI projects will be abandoned before organizations have AI ready data. So hopefully I've just let you read those figures. But again, that for me is just sort of before you even try to get an AI project off the ground, or making sure, there might be one person in your organization using chat, another one using Claude. How do you join all that up? And this comes down to a technology strategy, or how do you make sure everyone control this, so it's a governed, coming down back to governed AI. What data they're using, where are they sending it? Important. So this is, in the business world. These are two cases probably very, very well known, and I've talked about the boring stuff, the AI governance, the data side of things. But I said I love technology. Well, what you can do with technology helps you to innovate, and if you don't innovate, you get into a thing called the innovator's dilemma, which is true for Kodak and Blockbuster. So Kodak was a chemical processing company. They developed photographs, and then one of the engineers comes to the C-suite, the senior leaders of the company, and says, "We've developed this digital version of photography. Can we implement it?" And they're like, "No. We're a chemical company where we process photographs." And there was the engineers in Kodak that actually developed the digital photography, but then Kodak ended up going out of business because they thought, should we innovate? Should we use AI? Should we digitize? Should we use technology? And they missed the opportunity. Blockbuster, same sort of thing. They had the opportunity to buy Netflix, turn them down. And I think probably most people know what happened to Blockbuster and Netflix now. How long have I got left? 13 minutes. So AI, it does free you up to make humans more productive, and I definitely I don't think it should replace people at all. It's more to help people more productive. I think it's this slide, delivering happiness. So I love books. Another thing I love, but it's a book I love is by Tony Kish. And it's called Delivering Happiness, and it's the story of Zappos. It's probably more well known in America than in this country, but they were very good at customer service. They trained everyone in the business. If the phone rings, pick it up, and then able to deal with if it's a customer complaint, how they should deal with that. And it's one of the main reasons why Amazon bought them. And paid 1.2 billion for it. So it's more, for me, it's using that technology to allow people to be able to deliver a better service for your customers, even if it's just automating those manual processes in the background. I like that. I think I got that. I've had that quote for a while. I can't remember where I got it from, but stop asking brilliant people to do work that a machine can do in seconds. So I asked you to do a survey, and now this is the bit where the setup. I'm getting over it. I think I've mastered it now. Someone who's good at technology, eh? So they were the poll results. So disconnected software was sort of a thing that people have said was how does your firm manage client data today? And so the question 2 is what I'm really interested in is, what's your firm's biggest daily time drain? Is chasing documents. It's really hard to see from this position on stage. So question 2 is the key one, but I'll take you through the other five answers. How confident are you using AI tools today? 2% have never tried. 6% have never tried. 22% tried and unsure. 50% occasional use. 22% daily use. What would make the biggest difference right now? Biggest one there is reduce admin. These, by the way, all these results, I've got a QR code at the end, and you can get access to all these results. So you can have a read through it at your leisure. But yeah, very interesting feedback there. But this, and so an automation I built yesterday is taken what you've said here for question 2. What is your firm's biggest daily time drain? And it's almost like a similar process we've run through. Hopefully, I'm not in the way here. About and this again, you'll have access to this, but this is telling you a little bit about what we've done. But I said about the DMAIC process, define. So we've said the legal document chase and retrieval process from question 2 was the one selected most. So yeah, using AI, this usually would have a lot more feedback, a lot more input factors into it. So you would have interview different staff, you would define the different processes, and feed this data in. And it's not just about using AI. There is you need to have people who know what they're doing. And so you feed all that data in, and then and what I've said here. So for now, the AI is taking a generic process for chasing documents and information, and it's defined the current state, and then how we could then improve that, removing waste, using technology to improve that, and we've given the future state. And so if we've defined the current state, and we know and again, we would define this as a team. You may get AI to help you. You've got your future state. Then you go about how do we get to that future state? How can we use technology? How can we remove the paperwork? How can we digitize? And free our people to be more productive. So, and as I say, I'll share, but this is automatically linked to a QR code now on the back end. Sorry, not on the back end, on the last slide. So we built that quite quickly, and what I was trying to show really is just the power of using technology, of how quick you can speed up processes, how quick you can remove that waste from your business. So I did think about when Tom asked me about, can you come give a presentation? And of course, I've jumped in fairly last minute to talk about this. And I thought I could talk about all the different tools that I use as a developer, of how I help businesses like Surprise Shirts to improve things. And some AI experts or people might come in and say, oh, you can use this software, that software. And it's great, but how does that work across your whole organisation? But what I did want to show you is just share some of the AI tools that I do use. So I actually use Claude, Gemini, and ChatGPT. Probably more Claude than I do Chat. Well, no, I actually do use Claude. I use Claude Code for helping develop software. But we've got Gemini. I do use all three. For example, those figures that I've given you today. What I did is run the research in Claude and Gemini and Chat, and I got it to give me a research report, all three of them. Then I took all three of those reports and combined them together to then give me an overall what are some key data and figures I can use for my presentation. And of course, I did go back and check that these are real sources, but using 3 different sources helps confirm, ensure that data is real, is correct. It's not hallucinated. It's not made it up. Build, I've talked about. I use Claude Code, but you can, as a very recent update, you can actually use Claude within PowerPoint and Excel. It's very, very powerful of how you can create. It can pretty much create an Excel spreadsheet. You know, if you're looking at doing all your finances, it can create it for you. Work, daily productivity, a lot of meetings, internal meetings, record with Otter.ai. There's lots of different transcribing services out there. I can't actually remember. Oh, that's Whisperflow. I don't know why that's cut off. I think it's going from PowerPoint to Canva. But yeah, I use Whisperflow, and I think this has saved me so much time as well. So instead of when I'm working with AI, with Claude, for example, instead of typing, I just hold one button and talk to it. And it's not just a normal dictation software. It helps. It learns your style and then puts those words into proper sentences, and there's no fluff and no silly words that are put in there. We've got make.com. We've used that quite a lot with various customers, and that helps integrate different. If you can't put the software in one place, it helps integrate the softwares. So if you want to connect Shopify to a bespoke software that you've built, make.com, or there's NAN or Zapier. It's probably a lot of people have heard of Zapier, but Zapier is a lot easier to use. Make is a bit more advanced. NAN is an open source version. Perplexity, use that instead of Google. Google's dead for search anyway. But I say that flippantly, but me and Tom went to a tech conference back in November, and Google has a big advantage over the competitors because of with AI, with all the data that it does have. And there's a big question over that of how that's going to be fair for other companies moving forward. So yeah, that's pretty much what I use a lot of the day. So I've just about timed this perfectly. So we've got 2 minutes. I've got 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes left. I've got like I promised at the start of the presentation, I've got a video. That's just a reminder. The starting gun has gone off. AI is only as good as your foundation data and your processes and how you systemize it all, and free your people up to be brilliant. If you've listened to any of that, go away with those 3 things. Everything the tools I've talked about, the presentation, the poll, the answers to the poll, the result of the poll, you can find it there. You can share it afterwards as well. But that's pretty much it from me, and I'm going to finish with that video, and that's me done.
Daddy, tell me the story again about the last day before the robots came. The one where you stood on that big stage at the Legal Growth Conference and you told all those people in suits and fancy outfits that everything was about to change. Were they scared, Daddy? You said some of them didn't believe you, that they thought their own way of doing things would last forever, like the people with the photographs in the video shops. But you believed it, didn't you? You stayed up really late building things on your computer. Mummy said you were always talking to the machines, asking them to help you make things that worked. What was it like before, Daddy, when people had to do everything by themselves? All those emails and phone calls that nobody answered. It sounds so tiring. How did they even help anyone? You said it was getting everything ready for them, putting all the pieces in the right
Thank you.